morning, depending on where you are in the world today. This is On-Site Insights Live. It is our monthly webinar that we do the third Thursday of every month. My name is Leah Nicole Smith, and joining me today is Jennifer Carter.
Welcome. Hello. Super excited for our webinar today.
We are the education team at Satisfaction Apartment Ratings, and each quarter we do a three-part series of webinars. So we're at the beginning of a brand new series. It's called You Pick, We Present. Last month we posed two options to our to the industry. What would you like for us to present for April? And the winner was virtual leasing. So part one today is all about virtual leasing, ways that you can get it right. And how we know about these ways that you can get it right is that we asked renters, what do you want to see out of your
Leah, quick note. Can you just forward the slide?
There we go. I think it
There
was
we go.
stuck.
Perfect.
Yeah.
No problem.
Sorry about
Thank you.
that, everyone. GoToWebinar does some weird stuff every once in a
Yes,
while.
these days.
So virtual leasing is part one, and we've asked renters what do they want to see in their virtual leasing experience. These webinars are quick, fast, 30 minutes. We're going to launch a quick poll, just kind of a warm-up poll for everyone. Want to know, in terms of your experience with On-Site Insights Live, what is your history? Click right on the screen if you are a newbie. This is your first time here. If you're a fan, you've participated in up to 5. You're a regular. You've attended up to 10, or you are an influencer. You have attended over 10 sessions of On-Site Insights Live.
All right. We got about 50% voted so far.
I'm going to get to 75 and then
All
we'll close it
right.
out. Yep, just click right on that screen.
We are excited. We've got so many folks joining us today.
Oh my gosh, the numbers are like going crazy off the
Yes.
charts right now. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and close this poll out. So
Yay.
we have 73%. This is your first time here. 21, you've been up to 5 times with us. 4% up to 10, and 2% over 10 sessions. So for those of you who are brand new to On-Site Insights Live, first off, welcome and thank you so much for joining us. The way that these webinars go down is from start to finish. When we start the information, we'll give it all to you in 30 minutes. We would love for you to stick around for our questions and chat. We call it our after party. We're going to send a follow-up email later on today, and that follow-up email will have the slides. We always get asked about if we're going to share the slides, and it will have a link to the recording. The recording, you can watch it, you can share it, and at the end of this webinar, stay with us. At the very end, this audience is going to determine what we present next month. So we want you to hang in there so that you can vote on next month's topic. These webinars are completely free due to SphereX. They are our sponsor, and we're going to watch a quick video about SphereX and what they have to offer. All right. So once again, big thank you to SphereX. They are have been our sponsor for multiple years now.
All right, we're going to quickly get into some quick stats, which hopefully will be eye opening for everyone. So, want to share some information with you in regards to virtual tours. So, here at Satisfax, we are all about gathering data and getting information to you guys. And so, we have a brand new survey that we have been running. It is actually the COVID-19 renter study. We have been asking renters that are able to take our survey some questions just during this time of uncertainty, maybe, or just different changes. And so, in the last 30 days, we have asked them, have they been actively searching for a new apartment home? And so, I know there's been a lot of chatter out there. And what we have found is that there's 52%, so that's a little over half of our renters that are saying yes, they have actually been looking for a new home. And then we actually also asked them, have they been able to view apartment communities in person? And I probably would think that this answer is no surprise to most of you on the call. 85% said no, right? We all kind of know what situation we are all in, and which is why we are providing this great information to you. And then we've got more from our research that we found, and we've asked them, have you been able to view apartment communities virtually? So, again, across the industry, there's been lots of chatter on what everyone's doing. And when we asked them, what we found is 80% said yes, they've been able to view apartment community virtually in some way, shape, or form. So, whatever that looks like, whether that's a software, app through a phone or iPad, things like that. So, any way possible. And then lastly, we asked them, did viewing virtually actually provide sufficient information towards making a decision? So ultimately, in what we're doing, right, is we always want to make sure that we're hopefully helping the prospect able to make that decision and say yes, right? That's our goal. So what we found from our renters is that 62% said no. So I don't know if that's a shock to anyone, or maybe they thought that was what they were thinking. We also asked them, we're going to kind of get into some other things here of why did they answer no, right? Why did the information not allow them from that virtual tour um, get them to say yes, right? Or feel confident in signing that online lease. So we have all sorts of options here, but the one that's coming in at 88.5% is that would prefer to still see in person. So those old school or things we've been doing for a long time still hold true, right? To a prospect is they want to still be able to see that in person. So we're going to kind of talk about some ways what might be able to help you overcome that 88.5% of folks that still want to see it in person.
Yeah, because that's tough. I mean, especially when
Hmm.
there's kind of, we don't know when the leasing offices are going to be open again. We
Yes.
don't know when we're going to get to a point where you are able to show the homes, people can actually see what they'll be renting. So since we're in this weird sort of limbo state right now, how do we get that 88% to look more like 50%? Just if we can just get it down to 50%, you're giving yourselves a fighting chance in this current environment that we're in. So there has been a change in the journey from needing an apartment home to saying, yes, this is where I want to live. Before COVID-19, and this can be, within the last 30 days, maybe some of you 60 days, the leasing journey looked like this. Someone needed an apartment home, they went, started searching online. Then if they found enough information to where they feel pretty confident in moving on to the next step, they would reach out and make contact with the community. And hopefully that contact resulted in meeting in person, coming into the office for a tour, looking at the community overall. And if they didn't say immediately yes during that visit, they tend to go back online and do more research. They're still reading more reviews. They're still kind of gathering, their options before ultimately reaching that yes or no kind of moment in time. So this is what it looked like as little as 30 days ago, maybe 60 days ago. It was very normal, if you will, right? It's very normal for anyone who's looking for an apartment home. This is what they were used to. And now what we're experiencing is that there is a major opportunity here because there is a major disconnect in what was normal. Most of the steps in the leasing journey can be handled virtually. Their online research, they can even contact you virtually if they did additional research afterwards, after looking at the apartment home. And they can even say yes virtually. They could apply online for the home that they wanted. So, where the opportunity is right now is the piece that has been taken away from them, their ability to walk into your office, to meet you face to face, to see the community, to see their homes. So, this is where we want to focus for this session on how to create a virtual leasing experience from start to finish. So, virtual leasing is not just about the video, not just about the email communication. It is that entire experience, creating something that makes them feel so confident, makes them feel really safe that this is a good decision in this moment in time to make.
So we've got some information here to show you that renters, as you saw, right, in the stats earlier, they're still searching for new homes. So they're out there. They are still doing their research virtually in the very beginning of their search. So they're out there still looking for new homes. So we still have opportunities to connect with prospects, but only two parts of that journey, right, has changed as we just looked at that journey. So there's just that two areas, and then we find that renters will continue, though, to base their decision on traditional factors. And so we want to talk a little bit about that in just a few, kind of how we can work through those. And then virtual tours, this I think is key, is only part of the virtual leasing process, right? Virtual tours isn't going to solve all of our problems and make everything, cherries, with cherries on top, but it is part of the virtual leasing process. And then lastly, we know that renters still need to connect on an emotional level. So how can we still connect with folks when they're not in front of us, in person?
Yes, I think that's where that major opportunity lies. So, Jennifer and I have three recommendations for you as to how you can still emotionally connect in a virtual leasing experience. The first one is you want to give prospects an opportunity to connect with you face to face. It can't all just be by email or over the phone. They need to see you. And the reason that they need to see you is because that's what they're used to. They're used to being able to have a face to face conversation with someone in your leasing center, someone on your management team, in the process of trying to decide where they want to live. So you can do FaceTime, you can Skype, you can Zoom, whatever it is that you need, that you have at your disposal to be able to have that face to face connection with your prospect in this sort of virtual experience that they now have to get used to.
Yeah, I think the thing to remember too is that, like, when people are seeing your face, they have that emotional connection, right? They can make a connection with you. So again, it's not maybe physically in person, but they can still have that a connection by seeing you on a camera and kind of by looking at your face or seeing your expressions or just seeing how enjoy it is for you to be at the community. You're there as the employee. So I think that's really great.
Yeah, and I think now, now that a lot of families have to connect
Yes.
virtually, they're used to it. They're okay with it. It's a way for them to stay connected to their friends, their families, their coworkers. So
Sure.
I think, they're going to be okay that this is part of the new process. Some reasons why it's important is that right now it really is the best alternative to an actual leasing interview. You can't have them in your offices. Many of you, your offices are completely closed. You're not even there. So it's the best way to have that sort of, that one-on-one. What are you looking for? They see you as that true professional. It also, like Jennifer said, creates that personal connection. Just having that FaceTime, and it shows that you value human interaction. We're
Mm.
not just completely, behind a computer, we're in front of a camera.
And I
And
think with
that's
human interaction, people want that more than ever now, right? Because they are isolated or they're at home or they're not going anywhere. So anytime they can get that human interaction, especially looking for a new place where it's already an emotional decision, I think that's great.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. And it provides you an opportunity to create a memorable moment. We know for a fact that prospects look at multiple places, right, in their search. They're looking online, they're sending email inquiries out. Imagine if your competitors are only responding from behind the laptop or behind the computer, and you all are responding from in front of the camera. That is going to make you stand out. I mean, head above any other place that they're potentially considering. And it puts the prospect at ease. They know the office is closed, but they can see with their own eyes proof that you're still working.
All right, so you've got some best virtual tour options for you. Number one, a live walkthrough with a video chat. So this one is great. Really kind of going to give you some um, great ability again to connect with somebody when they see you, on that camera. So live walkthrough with video chat has significantly increased that opportunity. So we found and gathered some good information that's super recent from Redfin, the housing real estate market. And interestingly enough, in starting off from March 15th, they saw an 80% increase in requests for agent-led video tours in 1 week. So agent led means, you as the agent, or obviously in our industry, right, the leasing agent, um going on the tour and taking that prospect on the tour, as opposed to just sending a video, right, and not having anybody on your team available there. March 22nd, so 7 days, is that right, my quick math there?
Yep.
494% increase in requests. That is an astronomical increase for video tours. So people are looking for them. They want them, right? They are needing to have the ability to have those tours available that are agent led, which I think is key there. So again, you can see here the request for, oops, sorry, go ahead. No, that's okay. That's good.
Okay.
Requests for video chat tours. You can see that information there as well. This quote, I think, really kind of just hit me really a little bit, really from a good perspective, but it's definitely eye opening, not to quote her, but as the quote says, during video tours, I became the eye of the buyer. And so this is an agent from Redfin. She says, I'm talking more than I would on a traditional tour, pointing out things that would be obvious in person, but that aren't as clear through a camera lens, like the quality of workmanship on any repairs or whether or not a room would fit a king size bed. And this just really kind of hit me because I thought, well, gee, that's so true. But we might not be doing that, in our everyday tours. Is that thinking somebody sitting on the other side of the camera isn't really able to envision as easily as if they were there in person. So as the leasing agent or the assistant or the manager, whomever is doing that, walkthrough, we have to be a little bit more in tuned to be able to explain things or show the quality and kind of really deliver what that, apartment home is really about. So what we can do is we can have both parties ask questions. So this is kind of some good tips for you guys to maybe put in place. If you can get both parties to ask questions, you again can create that conversation and be able to answer those questions that they still may have as you're going through that video chat walkthrough. able to show what's important to the prospect. Again, we might need to ask more detailed questions, or we might need to go and help maybe open up more cabinets because they would be doing that if they were there in person. Or maybe we need to show them a little bit better of a perspective of, maybe how big the fridge is or how big the mirror is, or, they might just have some other questions that we might need to address, which may be really important to the prospect. And then continue the rapport. I think that is really big, and you can really do that through a video chat because you can see from the video their emotions or how they're feeling, and continuing that through video chat is great. All right. So hopefully those are great. And then we got last one for you, most natural for you and them. And that's the other thing. You want to make sure that you are authentic and real. And this is new for so many of us, right? To put ourselves on camera, to have people see what we look like. It may not be comfortable. So I would say practice, 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 with as many times as you need to, or if you have some other people in your office, if you can do that, just try to have as natural as possible, and that authenticity and able to connect and build rapport will help as well.
Yeah, I think the benefit of having that live walkthrough with a video chat is that that's what they're used to. They're used
Mm,
to being able to walk with you or
yes.
follow you. They're used to you having a conversation with them while they're in the vacant apartment home or while they're in the model. That's the thing that we this is probably the closest that they're going to get to a traditional on-site visit.
Yeah, because
So
you think about you're walking behind them and they might have a question and they may just turn around and ask you. And so you want to kind of create that as similar as possible with a video chat.
absolutely. Our second option for our recommendation for a video type of a tour would be to have a recorded tour, but have it done by a videographer. So that means that you actually have someone else on your team that is your camera person. They are filming you as opposed to you just sort of holding your phone out or holding your camera out and spanning across a vacant apartment. When you're just doing that, I think that's the piece that creates a disconnect between in that virtual leasing or virtual tour experience because it's just a blank room. There's nothing filling that space. And so now you can fill that space. You can be in that room. And, again, like Jennifer said, it may take some practice. You may not be used to it, but this is really, the second best way to do it if you're not going to do that live video chat. Here's a quote from that COVID survey that we're currently running about, what is it that you're not really seeing in your video tours. A resident said when agents are recording these video tours, they need to keep in mind the person receiving this video will have to base their decision on that video. If the video doesn't do a good job displaying the apartment, showing the apartment from different perspectives, not being rushed, giving more up close on amenities and details. The bottom line, this renter said that signing a lease is a big deal. And it's even more of an important decision when they're not able to physically look at it themselves. So, just think about that video that you're creating and just know, is this video up to the standard that would make someone feel as comfortable as possible, given that they can't see the apartment home in person. So, some recommendations for video tours by a videographer. The viewer is able to see you along with the community, right? You're still keeping that emotional connection going, and it helps the viewer connect with the video. If I'm just looking at a blank room that's kind of panning from left to right and up and down, I don't really connect with the space, but you're in there. I see your smiling face, I can hear your voice, and it just makes me feel a little bit more comfortable. And it allows you for hands free demonstration We've seen some videos before where if they're trying to show the refrigerator, they're holding the phone with the right hand, they open the refrigerator with the left, and then the camera kind of dips down, so you're not really like seeing, all that you need to see. And again, this helps you be more natural. This helps you be able to demonstrate the way that you're used to, just having someone else video for you. And you can be creative. You can get really creative with how you're going to do these videos. We came across a community in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, called Springfield Apartments. They're managed by Mission Rock, and they did an online tour, or recorded tour, in the style of the documentary Tiger King. I don't know how many of you out there have watched at least 10 minutes of one episode of Tiger King, but they have we're going to play a quick little snippet of their video. I'm going to see if it's in here. If not, we will no, it didn't make it in here. Uh-oh, go to webinars doing something weird because it's not loading the video. We'll send you
Well,
the link to their
yeah, as a
Insta. Yeah,
follow-up,
we'll
yeah.
send you the link to their Instagram so that you can, or it's right there. You can check it out. But they did a really great video in the style of Tiger King.
All right, so we got some key takeaways that we can make sure we remember during this virtual time that we're in. So evaluate every step in the virtual leasing journey. We really want to take some time to see how we are doing things, and maybe if we need to change up some things to accommodate what may be better for the prospect in order to help them make that final decision a little bit easier, maybe getting that yes virtually. Find ways to virtually connect. Personally love the opportunity to even just chat with them virtually. That really, I think, is going to make you stand out and differentiate you, as opposed to just sending emails, as you mentioned, Leah, back and forth, maybe like your competitors. But having that opportunity, to just do a quick FaceTime, get some questions answered for them. Everybody's, let's say, face it, right, is at home. So nothing better to have that opportunity just to say, hey, can I take a minute and do a quick chat with you via video, get some questions answered, and go over a few things with you. And then it might be a good opportunity to connect that way.
Yeah, so you can do the video chat before you send them the tour information, or you can use that as part of your follow up. After they've looked at everything, you can put that in as sort of like how you can wrap things up and, close with them.
And then check out other tour videos. You want to see where yours may stand out. Where does yours blend in? Just kind of keep your eyes out for some other tour videos, and maybe you can make some adjustments for you guys to be able to stand out above everyone else.
Yes, we want to be memorable because there's a lot of video tours going on right now, and we, want to help you be the most memorable for your prospects that are looking. So before we vote on the May topic, want to know from you in that chat box, what was your biggest takeaway from today? Anything that kind of stood out to you? Feel free to go ahead and throw that in there. And while those are coming in, we have a webinar next Thursday. We are partnering with another division in our company called Nolo.com. We're going to be doing a COVID-19 legal concerns. And this one is targeting specifically on site teams. What are some of the things that you should be concerned about? We're going to clarify some stuff. We have two attorneys that specialize in landlord tenant law. They will be our guest speakers, and you'll be able to ask questions of them. If you have any questions, you can, let us know ahead of time. But we're going to be sending you some information out about that webinar. So let's go ahead and launch this poll so that Jennifer and I can get our marching orders for next month. Let us know what you want to see for next month. Here are the two topics: COVID-19 versus your reputation, or COVID-19 versus resident retention. Click right on the screen, the one that you want us to cover next month. Ooh, these are flying in.
Yes. And we've got tons of questions, so keep those coming. We'll get those addressed as well.
All right, we have 50% of you voting. I'm going to get to 75%. We'll do majority.
Awesome.
All right, I'm going to do my 3, 2, 1 countdown. All right, we have hit 75%. All right,
Okay.
Jennifer. So it looks like it is COVID-19 versus your resident
Resident retention.
we got you. We got you guys covered. We're going to have even more data. We're going to have even more good comments and stuff from your residents. So um, we're good to go on that topic. All right.
Yes. Let's jump to some of these questions. They're coming in. We got some great takeaways. And I want to get to Elisa. I think that's how you say her name. She has a great question. How would you recommend the face to face without giving your personal cell phone number? So I know of one way right off the bat, but if there are some folks on this call that, have some other suggestions, feel free to throw those in the questions box as well. But I do know that Google allows you to get a free number that you can use, and it would be under your company name, and so you could use that number, and that way you don't have to give out your personal number.
We've also seen separate Facebook pages
Yes.
that have been set up specifically for prospects. So it's still, about your community. I actually like this idea because all the stuff that you're talking about, half off next month's rent, and, we're running this special. You don't have to put that on your regular apartment community page for all your residents to see, right? I don't know if residents who are up for renewal want to know that, there's move-in specials happening, but we've seen that where there are separate Facebook pages that are directed, directly for or targeting your prospects. And that's a way that you can do FaceTime without, having any of your personal info.
Yeah, absolutely. That's great too. So we got some folks on here. Claire Collins. Oh, thanks. She says, make it memorable. That's what she had the biggest takeaway from, which I think is great.
Oh, Kelly
Uh,
has a great idea, putting her leasing team in the video.
I love that. I think again,
Yes.
everybody's a team, right? You're all part of the community, and again, any part or opportunity you can to build everybody into that video, I think that's a great idea.
I like that.
Millie, she says we just need to be memorable and stand out. Absolutely. I think that's going to be a good takeaway for lots of folks. Jill says, I love the hands-free tour. It makes so much sense. We've only done one person in the apartment, but that makes so much more sense. Yeah, I think so too. It does create a little bit of a smoother tour, gives you more options, and it's definitely a great one.
Uh, Stephanie says, what platform do you suggest to live chat or show? I'm going to throw this one out to the group. What are you all using for your live chats or showing your apartment homes? Jennifer and I, we've recommended FaceTime, Skype, Zoom. Um, let's see, who else is.
Kimberly mentions using Zoom, so that's good for her virtual chats. That's great. Um, so we've got that, which is a good one. You can always change your background if you have a messy background at your house. Zoom. Somebody else, Jennifer says she uses Matterports. Um, oh, Microsoft has a live meeting. Okay.
Oh, they do. They sure do. They have oh, what is it called? The ad just popped up on my Facebook and I completely drew a blank. Hangouts, Google Hangouts is good
Yeah, yeah.
as well.
There's just tons of honestly opportunities or different ways. Um, let me just see if we got any more. Lots of YouTube, which is great. Yeah, just be careful on Zoom. Make sure it's protected with a password. Um, share your screen. Google Duo. Haven't heard of that one. That's probably just a different avenue. It's great.
Tammy says, I have recorded videos, but it made me realize how important the virtual live chat is. They really need to see you. I mean, they really need to see you because that's what they're used to. They're used to actually having someone with them. So if you can make that happen, but in obviously a virtual way, or remotely, that you're already one leg up. You've already, you're already making them feel more confident.
Yeah, I think that's the thing is connecting with them because a lot of times I think what we end up doing is we just make a video and we may put the video on YouTube, as you mentioned, Leah, just kind of like taking the camera around to an empty, apartment home, but we kind of lost that sense of who's on the other side of the camera, right? Or who's in the office. So, any way you can do that, my biggest takeaway was just having a quick chat to find out really what they need, but doing it virtually, saying, let's just jump on a quick 10-minute call so I can gather more information and doing that so I can see their face.
Yeah, and if they don't want to, then that's fine. But at least I think the offer is making you all memorable. Because
Absolutely.
other your other competitors or other communities that they're contacting may not even make that an option. So even if they turn you down and they don't want to do it, you're still making yourself stand out.
Um, Jamie says her takeaway was being genuine as possible. She says this is a crazy time for everyone and no one wants fake. So yes, I agree. Everybody's stressed, right? To the max in all levels. People are balancing all sorts of things, not just looking for an apartment home. They've got other things going on. And so being genuine and showing you truly care, I think is would go a long way.
Yeah, I totally agree. Bradley says what his takeaway was, the reminder that the entire journey is virtual, not just the video, and we need to be aware of maintaining the personal connection throughout that journey. Yeah, we get a lot of there's a lot of advice, there's a lot of recommendations and helpful tips on the actual tour, but we have to remember that this is an experience for them from start to finish, from that moment they decide they need a new home to the moment they say yes or no. And how do you make the most out of every single step in that journey or that experience? I mean, especially given the fact that they can't see you, they can't meet with you, or they can't meet with you, but they can still see you.
Okay, so we got a couple of questions I want to make sure we get to. Nicholas asks, "What's the best way if the files are really large, and you don't want people to have access to your Google Drive?" I think we talked a little bit about this, Leah. You can always do some shorter ones, and then give them a few, so it's not one long video, or you could always compress them. But you could always do some smaller videos, making sure you do the apartment, maybe you do one of the amenities, so that way they can still see everything about the community. Not sure if you.
Yeah, one part of the kind of downside that we saw from the COVID survey was that they were saying, I couldn't see the amenities. I didn't, it was literally just the apartment home. So if you want to do like a short set of videos, like, okay, this one is for our amenities and this one's for, the one bedroom. I personally like having a YouTube channel. You can upload all of them to YouTube and just share it that way. You can make your channel private. So when you're sending out your email, you're embedding the links in the email as opposed to trying to do an attachment. Because
Yeah, that
remember, if they're looking at this on their phone and they try to download a video on their phone, it's just going to be too large,
sure,
especially if they
sure.
have other photos. It may be small enough to send, but it may not be small enough for them to download onto their phone.
That's good. Yeah, that's my phone's already maxed out.
Oh, me too. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. This is a great question too. Allison says, "How do you propose leasing consultants handle prospects that claim they do not have enough time for an agent-led tour?" So I think, and love to hear your opinion too on this, Leah. I think for me, I look at that and I think they may not want to do it live, but at least if you create, like we mentioned, a tour that has somebody on the other side with that video, I can't say that word, videographer, that will help as well. Um, So they may not want to be live with you doing it, but at least if you have a video where you have somebody recording and then somebody going through the apartment as kind of showing off the apartment, I think that might at least help a little bit.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think, not everybody is going to even be comfortable with a
Sure.
video chat. They don't want you, in their homes, so to speak. So just giving them those two options, like I can, we have recorded videos, or I'm happy to walk through a live tour with you if you have the time. Let them choose which one, but having both of those available to a prospect can be helpful. Stephanie has a great question. She says, oftentimes my client goes silent after our initial video chat, even though they claim to love the property after the quote unquote tour. How can I raise my percentage of keeping prospects interested after the video tour? So, what we're finding, great question, Stephanie. What we're finding is that because people are kind of in limbo right now, it is going to be very difficult to get them to say yes immediately. There's some that they have no idea what their financial situation is going to look like 2 months from now, or 6 months from now. So what you all you can do is just make sure that the experience they have had with you is on their short list. It's I'm seriously considering this place. I may not be able to make a decision in the next 2 weeks, but when things change for me, or when things are more fluid for me, they're among the top choice that I have. So, oh, go ahead, Jennifer.
No, no, no. I think that's great. I think the other thing that you may want to consider, and again, it's something that's new for other folks, but I'm finding a lot of times, even in my r- regular email, right? I'm getting a lot of people that are doing video updates. So maybe a follow up, as we mentioned a little bit, of it being virtual, where you're like, instead of just emailing and saying, "Hey, I hope your search is going okay," or whatever that looks like, maybe that's more of a video where that you can talk and say, and use that so they can see your face as opposed to just email. And maybe that might intrigue them a little bit more.
I like that idea. Sherry has a great idea for everyone. And this is what we normally do in person, but this is something you can still incorporate into your video tour. She says, have a tape measure with you just to ensure the prospect that the measurements are correct, and for
Mm.
example, their furniture will fit. And that's what we normally do, right? But when you're just showing the countertop, it looks much different through a camera lens than it would with the seeing eye. So maybe measuring that countertop or that breakfast bar so that they get a good sense of, okay, it's 6 feet long, and 6 feet. Seeing it on a measuring tape makes it a lot easier to understand. That's
And
a
even as a
great tip, Sherry.
and I like the measuring of the bar because it made me think of maybe actually just sit down for a second, right? Show them actually sitting at the bar if you have some stools there, right? Or to kind of give them a little bit more of a perspective of, if they were there, this is what it would be like.
Allison has a says, my team says most everyone is not interested in taking the time and is requesting video links to be sent to them. Yeah, and that's great. Either or, giving them that option, that's a great point. If it is just the video, let's kind of, how can we make that video special? How can we make that video different than just panning the room from left to right? But that's a great point, Allison. We have to tour or show the community the way the prospect is going to appreciate it the most, the way
That's
the way
great.
that they want to do it.
That's really good. I think that's key, right? Because we would do that in person, so we want to make sure
Hmm.
we're doing that virtually.
We have Diane says, someone brought up earlier having the leasing team in the video. Diane says you can add someone from your maintenance team as well.
Love that idea because that are a huge part of the community, and what a better way to showcase them and give all the kudos and have them be in your video. And I've seen a lot of videos of folks doing even TikTok with maintenance and like all sorts of fun stuff. So maintenance is great to add into anything.
You guys are giving some great tips and advice. I love it.
Tia says, I like the tip to have a guided tour instead of just having the video of the empty apartment. Yeah, I think that's really, really big. I think that's right. If you can do it, you've got two people, yourself and somebody else that's available, even if it's a maintenance, so you can maybe be the videographer if you're the one that's, going to be in the apartment, kind of going through the apartment. So I think that's great.
Ella has a great question. Are there free online schedulers to help with appointment setting? Yes, there
Yes.
are. We actually use one. It's called Acuity, Acuity. And it's something that like doctors and hairdressers use, but that's what actually we use to set our appointments. And they have a free option, a free account that you can sign up for.
Yeah, there's quite a bit that, and the one we use is great. I love it. It's pretty easy to use too.
I'm gonna put that. I'm gonna type that in case anybody is interested.
We do have a question. How long should a video tour take? Which is an interesting question. Um, I don't know if there's a specific number. What would you say, Leah?
Yeah, I think as long as you're natural and it would be the time that you would normally spend in an apartment, it's going to be shorter if you're doing the videographer one, right? Because they're not asking you questions and all that kind of stuff. But remember the comment from our renter that completed the survey that was saying, if it's rushed, if you're not showing everything. So as long as it's thorough, it's well paced. I don't think there needs to be like a time limit on it. I just wouldn't make a half an hour or, maybe keep it 10 minutes or so in the apartment home. If it's a two bedroom, maybe 15 minutes in the home. And you can always tell them we have a quick 10-minute tour that you can view online. Kind of set them up for that. Or it's a quick 15-minute tour that you can, check out online.
Oh, this is a great consideration. James says consider elevator a lost connection. So yes, if you are, maybe starting outside the building and you need to go up an elevator, you could do something fun and quirky and, be on the camera and then say, well, we'll be right back. We're going up the elevator. And then as you open the elevator, there you are, right? But do consider that you don't want to have any lost connection if you do have elevators specifically at your community. So that's really good to consider. But you can, of course, have that kind of be a opportunity maybe to create have some creativity in your video.
Melissa offered another great tip. She says a tour of an empty unit and then the same floor plan with furniture would be great too. And that's kind of what we do, right? In real life or in normal circumstances, you'll tour vacant, then you go back to your model, so that they can kind of put it all into perspective in terms of how much furniture will fit in the home.
Which is good too, because I think at that point we know, right, Leah, from our research that renters or prospects, they want to see the actual apartment home. So showing them the model and then saying, this is the actual one that we do have available for you.
You guys come up with the best. We should talk to them before we create our deck because
Right.
they always come up with the best stuff.
Good suggestions too, and great questions.
All right, I'm just scrolling down to make sure we don't have any other questions. There's just a lot of good takeaways that you guys are getting.
All
Okay.
right.
So if you have any more time this week or next week, every Friday we drop a free 15-minute video on our website, and we have everything from how to do live remote events. Tomorrow we are doing a special video for senior communities. We have one for kids, kind of keeping the kiddos busy, employee engagement. There's all sorts of stuff. You can check out our website under the education page for all that good stuff. And our follow up email will have a link as well.
And they're all free. So,
All free, all free. So thank you so much for your time today. Great comments, great questions. We hope the information we presented was helpful, get you to kind of tweak some things with your virtual leasing experience. Thanks again. Have a great rest of your afternoon, and we will be in touch shortly.
yes, see you next month.
Bye, everybody.